Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都很难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, and today joining me, as usual, is our Tony Reid. Hello, Tony.
Hey, what's going on? And hello to everyone listening in. Hope you guys are here to learn some Chinese. I know I'm definitely here. Hopefully take something away.
And we have something really interesting and I think controversial to start with.
Okay.
It starts with one of my friends who joined a group tour recently. And their schedule was crazy. Like they traveled to 4 cities within 4 days. But of course, the expense was cheap.
Yeah.
They don't really cost that much.
There you go.
But I guess the controversies here is whether you can enjoy travel by joining groups. We can have a lot of discussion around that, but I think how to say that in Chinese if you really want to go on a tour with a group of people in China.
China.
Yeah, in China, there are a lot
of people.
tours. Especially now, if you go to tourism destinations in Beijing, you can see those people wearing the same colored caps. And also, there's the guide with the little flag in the front of the group.
Yeah, I've seen those guys.
Yeah, with the loudspeakers.
Hordes of people all over the place. So yeah, I think my answer is short. It's just, it depends on how many people you got with you in the group.
Ah, that's true.
In the time of year. High season is normally really crowded, but if you go in the off season, it's not too bad.
So that's the topic for today. And in Chinese, that's 跟团游.
跟团游.
Yeah.
Okay.
跟 meaning follow. 团 is group. 游 is tour. So you follow a group on a tour. 跟团游.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and first of all, as usual, we have a dialogue about travel in groups or alone.
最近计划去旅游吗？
对，我想出国旅游，去马尔代夫。
好棒！你准备跟团还是自由行？
我想跟团，我不太熟悉当地的情况，而且花费相对会低一些。
确实，祝你一路顺风，玩得开心。
And that's the dialogue, and we'll break it down sentence by sentence.
Okay.
First one, 最近计划去旅游吗?
So this is, do you have plans to travel in the near future? So 最近, this is normally like recently, right?
Yes.
Or recent. And then 计划, this is plan. And then 去 is go. And then 旅游, this is travel. And then ma is the question. So it's literally, do you have a recent travel plan? But the thing is, in this sentence or the way it's structured, there's no yo. Like yo is like, do you have, right? And in English, obviously, do you have plans? So can we also say 最近计划去旅游? How do you say that? 你有最近计划去旅游吗? Can we say that?
Well, you have to move some of the phrase around. First of all, in Chinese, you always have the time beginning of the sentence.
Really?
So you will start with 最近 recently. And then you can say 你有计划去旅游吗?
Oh, okay.
It also makes sense.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
And then 对，我想出国旅游，去马尔代夫。
So that is, yes, I want to travel overseas to the Maldives.
Nice place.
So 对 is like correct or right. And then 我想, this is I want. 出国, I think this is abroad, right?
Yes.
And then 旅游, I think that's travel. So I want to go abroad, travel abroad. chu is go, and then ma ar dai fu. I think
Yeah.
that's the Maldives, right?
Yeah, that's the direct translation of Maldives. 马尔代夫.
Okay.
And then 好棒，你准备跟团还是自由行？
This is, oh, how nice. Are you planning to go with a tour or on your own? So, how bang? This is, yeah, how nice, or tai bang la. It's kind of similar, right?
But I think the sentiment is a little different.
Okay.
好棒 is like I'm commenting on your decision.
Okay.
But 太棒了 is kind of exclamation about something that's going to affect me as well.
Bang, what does this mean?
It's great.
Okay, so we have how is good, and then bang is great. So good, great.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to just say that something is amazing.
Awesome. I think awesome would be the equivalent here.
Okay, cool. Ni junbei. So ni is you. Junbei is like, is this like planning or ready?
It can mean both, actually.
Okay, so ni junbei, you ready. Gun tuan. So gun tuan is like, is this tour or group tour?
Yeah, follow the tour.
Oh, okay. Hai shi, is this like yet or still?
Or,
Sorry, way off. So hai shi is or, and then 自由行. So 自由 is like freedom. And then 行, what would that mean?
well, 行 has different meanings.
Okay.
It can be meaning transport. It also can meaning you are going to certain places. So in 自由行, you can understand it as travel at your own liberty.
Okay,
Pretty-
at
pretty
your
much-
discretion.
Yeah, so you are making all the plans, you are making all the calls.
Okay.
自由行. And then the next sentence, 我想跟团，我不太熟悉当地的情况，而且花费相对会低一些。
It's a really long sentence. I want to join a tour group because I'm not familiar with the local situation, or I'm not familiar with the environment, and it costs less. So 我想 I want 跟团. So this is a group tour. 我不太熟悉. I'm not really sure what that is.
It's familiar with.
Okay, so 我不太. I know 我不 means I'm not, but what is 太?
Thai is too much.
Too much.
Very.
Okay. So I'm not very familiar. And then 当地.
当地
Dangdi. So I'm not sure what that is either.
is like locality.
Okay. And then the 情况, I think 情况 is situation or maybe environment
Yeah,
in this
exactly.
context. And then archie.
It's like also.
Also, okay. And then 花费相对.
花费
Not
is
translate. There's a lot of these words are not on here.
花费 meaning expenses or costs, and 相对 is relatively. 会 will 低一些 is like lower a little bit. So that means, the expenses will be cheaper. The cost will be less.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So that's basically the expenses. It's more affordable joining a group tours. And then the next sentence, 确实祝你一路顺风，玩得开心。
So this is, it sure is. I hope you have a great time. So 确实, this is like definitely or indeed, or it's
yeah.
an agreement sound of confirmation, right? And then 祝你, this is wish you. 一路顺风. So
一路顺风。
一路顺风. This is like have a great time, right?
Have a safe trip.
Safe trip. And then 玩得开心. So 开心 is normally like happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then 玩 is play, so have a happy play.
Have a happy time. Have some fun.
play happy.
Yeah. And also 一路顺风, it means like have a safe trip. But like right now in modern language, sometimes when wish somebody have a safe trip, especially on a flight by air, a lot of people would recommend not to use 一路顺风.
Okay.
Because it indicates it involves an airplane and 风 meaning wind, gale. You know, it can be meaning something else.
Okay.
So when people are taking a trip by air, some people would not recommend you to say 一路顺风. But for other transport means like by the sea or by the train, by the car, it would be perfectly fine to say 一路顺风, have a safe trip.
Okay. I'm not sure I quite understand why you can't use it for a plane, but it's still a trip.
Yeah. It's just, it involves some superstitions here.
Okay.
And it may not make sense. Also, it may not be true as well. It's just when people are going outside, especially to another faraway place, you always want to give them the best of luck.
Sure.
Sometimes certain words can pull different triggers for different people. You never know.
Have a safe trip. Yeah, I guess that has some implications on a plane.
一路顺风. But most of the case, 一路顺风 would work.
Okay, got it.
When you are wishing someone have a safe trip. And that's pretty much everything with the dialogue. Tony, do you want to give it a try?
Yeah. 最近计划去旅游吗？
对，我想出国旅游，去马尔代夫。
好棒！你准备跟团还是自由行？
我想跟团，我不太熟悉当地的情况，而且花费相对会低一些。
确实，祝你一路顺风，玩得开心。
You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Feifei, and Tony Reed. We'd love to hear from you. You can send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. And for more fun Chinese learning, you can also follow us on Facebook by searching Learn Chinese to watch many fun videos and live streams. And coming up next, let's learn more about group tours, 跟团游. Don't go away, so you'll take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, joined by Tony Reed in this episode. And today we're talking about 跟团游 or 团队旅游. And it means travel by groups. And I think people have like mixed feelings about this travel means, like travel with a group of people.
Yeah, or traveling alone or whatever.
So 跟团游, I think, is still a popular ways of travel of tourism for a lot of people at least, because obviously you don't have to make a lot of plans, and as the dialogue said, it's more affordable. As one of my friends who recently joined a group tour, 跟团游, she went to Hong Kong, Macau, and then Zhuhai and Shenzhen, these 4 cities, and it only cost her 1,500 yuan.
Oh yeah, that's very cheap.
It's very, very
especially
cheap.
for those kinds of places.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends on what you want, the quality of the experience, because as you mentioned earlier about going to a lot of places in a short period of time, and for some people who actually want to enjoy and be present in the travel, that might not sit well with them. But for those of us who just want to just snap a few photos and just show everyone, yes, I've been here, that might be okay. So you think you got different travelers out there. So it really depends.
Exactly. For people who just want to 打卡, take the snaps, 打卡, and show us to check in on this place, to show the world, I've been here.
Okay.
I think 跟团游, travel by groups, would definitely serve that purpose. Can travel, well, especially in Beijing now, there are a lot of group tours in any scenic spot in Beijing right now. I went to one of the museums in Beijing over the weekend, and I counted. I came across 9 different tours.
Oh, wow.
On the same street.
Okay.
and you can imagine the amount of people. And I checked with their schedule. They traveled to Changcheng, the Great Wall, in the morning, and then they took a bus, went to the Summer Palace.
Gugong.
The Summer Palace, Yiheyuan.
Oh, Yiheyuan.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the same day.
Oh, wow.
You know, if I was doing the planning, going to Changcheng, the Great Wall, will be a one-day trip.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
for me, that's what it was. And I think just getting the train out there, it's on a really tight and strict schedule. So if you miss that, I think they probably caught the first one. And then they were able to, but going up the wall and taking the pictures, then coming all the way back down and then going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's
太棒了。
It's too very, very tired. 太累了。
非常累了。
But they think a lot of these tourists with the groups, they think it's very efficient.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely different travelers. How do you say different travelers?
不同的，
不同，
不一样。
不一样。And then travelers, so
Would be
旅游人。
游客。
游客。So 游客人 or just 游客?
Just 游客。客 meaning guests. They're also people. So 游客 meaning visitors or tourists.
Okay, so how do you say many different kinds? How do you say that in Chinese?
不一样的。
不一样的旅客。
游客。
Oh, 游客。
Yes.
Okay.
不一样的游客. There are different kinds of tourists. But I think for other travelers out there, they want to really experience what's happening locally.
Yeah.
Right? They want to spend weeks in the same spot because they want to see how the locals spend their day, what kind of restaurants they go to, you know, what kind of lifestyles they have.
Yeah.
It's just different mindset and mentality, I guess.
Right. It's just pretty much the different type of traveler. If it's a place that you have a strong connection to, then I think it's better or more you're more inclined to stay there for like you mentioned, like a week or two. But for people that if you don't really have a strong connection and you just want to just do daka and show everybody that you arrived and you've been there, then yeah, maybe it's good enough.
Yeah, you just went to the most famous places and
Yeah.
daka and check-ins and then off to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes that works.
Yeah, but Tony, I'm curious about your personal choice. What kind of travelers are you when you're on a tour?
It really depends. If it's a place, again, is if I don't really have that much connection to the place and it's just a really cool spot, then I'm okay with maybe doing two, maybe not the Great Wall, but other, like in the city, like if there's like two really cool hot spots, I wouldn't mind doing that in a very short period of time. But if it's a place that I really have a strong attachment to, then I think I would like to stay there longer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to traveling to a different place, there are different ways. As one is sort of on staycation, and another one, it would be like involves a lot of planning because you want to go make sure you can go to the places that you want to.
Yeah.
You want to do the Daka things,
Right.
and you want to also check in on different, for example, famous restaurants, famous scenic spots, and whether there is a very good museum locally, you also want to go there. That involves a lot of planning. But like for me, if I'm going to the beach by the sea, there isn't really a lot of Daka
Yeah.
activities I want to go. I just want to relax
Right.
under the sun, enjoy some drinks, you know, and enjoy the views. And that's 度假, I think.
度假.
Yeah, is more relaxed and don't involve planning. And you can sleep till you feel like just, you know, naturally wake up.
Yeah.
And that's a 度假 way of traveling for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. How do you say that makes sense in Chinese?
I don't think there is an equivalent really in Chinese.
So you wouldn't say that in Mandarin?
No.
Okay, so in this context, when you want to agree with somebody, what do you say?
Well,
是啊.
是啊, 对对对 Or if you can really relate to this, you can say 我懂 I understand
我懂
我懂 Yeah, there are different ways of respond to this.
Okay.
Yeah, but would you choose at least a day trip tour, like a one-day tour around, for example, if you went to a very famous city and there is a one-day tour that you can tour around to the must-go places in that city and it's very affordable. Would you choose to
Sure.
跟团?
I would probably do 跟团 for Suzhou.
Oh.
You know, because I think that's a really aesthetic, picturesque kind of place. So if I'm able to go there and take some really nice pictures, then that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Even Shanghai. I think Shanghai is also
Really?
a kind of a cool place, but I don't know if I would want to be there for like a long period of time. I think that
Really?
there's some restaurants and possibly some towers and places that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I would do. Yeah, I wouldn't be there for like a long period
long
of time.
time.
I mean, I don't think so.
So I think with the perks of traveling by groups, they have a tour guide. They have a 导游. And that 导游 can explain everything, you know, the history behind this place. For example, if you went to Suzhou alone on yourself, and you went to one of the gardens in Suzhou, the famous gardens.
Yeah.
We don't really have a lot of knowledge about the history surrounding this garden. You're just over there for photos, really.
Yeah.
And that's also my experience when going to 故宫, the Palace Museum.
Right.
You just keep seeing the similar houses over and over again, and you're not realizing what's this house for. They all look very similar to me. And it's a very big place. And if I get into that gate, there's only one exit on the other side of the palace, and I have to walk 2-3 hours to the other gate, and I don't really know the history behind it. And that's when I think having a tour guide, having a 导游 explaining, chatting all the time in the background would be very, very helpful.
That would actually annoy me because it's like sometimes I just want to be in the moment. And, you know, a lot of those historical sites have been renovated so much that when they say that this was this and that, actually it wasn't. I mean, it's like, you know, sometimes they have refurbished it. So what you're looking at is a upgraded version that's not the authentic. For me, I'm a fan of like the really old, like for example, when I went to the Shaolinci.
少林寺.
Yeah, I visited the pagoda forest. And even though the Shaolin temple has been burned down multiple times, I still can see how old some of those structures were in the pagoda forest, and it's kind of cool. It makes me feel like these have been around for actually a really long time. So yeah, I kind of connect with that.
You can feel the history on those.
Right.
That's true. But, you know, on the other hand, some of the old structures are made of wood. And if they are not frequently maintained, they've probably be gone by now. And I sometimes get why they have to keep maintaining.
Oh, of course.
Right?
That's understandable. Yeah. It's all over the world.
Yeah, but of course, my first time going to the Palace Museum, I was still a kid. I was surprised to see all the cracks and the paint falling down on the pillars. I was like, isn't this place for the empress? And they're living like this, like in these houses, this old shabby house. Then my father told me it was like 500 years ago, you know? I realized that.
Let's see how you look in 500 years, dear.
So it was really funny to see, you know, the things you imagined, and when you actually see these historic sites,
yes,
probably have a different ideas and feelings.
Right. In this context, I know the word lao is old, but is this for people, or can this also be for structures?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
老楼, an old building.
Oh, 老楼.
An old building. But for historic sites, it's more 历史遗迹.
历史遗迹.
历史 is history or historic, and 遗迹 is the relics, you know, what's left through history. 历史遗迹.
历史遗迹. Okay.
You know, the remains of the history.
Sounds nicer.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei with Tony Reid here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can listen to the show and read the script there.
Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave your comments, questions, and ratings.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
再见.